In order to install MongoDB on your Windows machine, first download the appropriate installer. So let's go to mongodb.com, and in the home page on the top right corner, somewhere you will see here that there is a download link. Let's click that. And that gives us few options, and I would like to go with the community server. And in the community server, since we are using Windows machine here, we have a couple of options, and the one that is shown by default is the one that we want to install. Let's click the download button. The download will take few seconds. So now that the download is done, so let's open the folder, and here is the installer. So let's go and double click that and complete the wizard by choosing the most appropriate options. By default, it has been installed in C drive, program files, MongoDB server 3.4. So this is the location. And in the bin directory, we'll see some applications or executables. The one executable that we are interested right now is the MongoD, which is a server process. There is also a client application. So one thing is you can just double click this MongoD, but it fails to start up because it looks for a folder called data/db in your C drive. I don't have this folder, hence when we run this, we can supply an alternate folder where MongoDB will use that as a temporary folder. So in order to test this, let's open a command prompt and then type the command MongoD with probably -- version, and it gives me an error saying that MongoD is not recognized as an internal or external command. To make this MongoD command available on all command prompts, we have to add this folder location to our path environment variable. So I'm going to copy that and then right click this PC, properties, advanced system settings, environment variables, and I can add either here or I can append to an existing path here. So let's go and add a new environment variable called path and paste that location that we copied. Once you say OK, OK, and OK, let's close all the windows, and then I open a new command prompt, type the same command MongoD -- version, and we get this version now, which means you have successfully installed the MongoDB software. The next step is to create a data folder for MongoDB. So I'm going to open C drive and create a new folder. Now the name can be anything. I'll give MongoDB-data, and then I can use this path when I run the server. To run the server, issue this command from any command prompt now, which is MongoD --db path :MongoDB-data. You can also optionally change the port numbers or the location of the server, etc. But I would like to leave it to the default. When I press enter, it starts the server. And you can see that there is a message that comes up waiting for connections on port 27017. Now that happens to be the default port number. If you got this screen, that means your MongoDB installation is successful and it has been started. Now let's minimize this and open a new command prompt. This time I want to connect to the server using a Mongo client and then check if I can issue some commands. For example, I'll type Mongo and then press enter, and you will see that it connects to a server. So it says connecting to MongoDB //127.0.0.1, which means localhost, and then the port is 27017, which is where our MongoDB is running. Through this command prompt, I can issue some MongoDB specific commands. For example, show DBs will give you the list of databases that have been created and visible. Now I can create a new DB by just typing use, for example, testDB. Now it says switch to the DB testDB. However, if I again say show DBs, it will not be listed because it doesn't contain anything. So it gets lazily created, which means only when you add some data into your database, the database comes to existence. So we can also issue a command called db to check what is the name of the db, and it says that the current database is testdb. Another command that can be used at this time is show collections. Now, since this DB is empty, there are no collections at all. However, we can add a new collection and reissue all these commands to see a different result. So let's create a new collection by adding a new document to that. And it's very simple. Just have to type db dot an imaginary collection name. For example, I can say contacts dot insert, and then I can pass on a JSON document, so with a name value pairs. For example, I can say name Vinod, email vinod@vinod.co. Now if I complete this, you will see that it says right result, number of records inserted is 1. And if I now issue the commands show DBs, you'll see that there is a new database called testdb. If I also say show collections, I can see my collection, which is the contacts. And now to see the data which is stored in the contacts, I have to issue a command db.contacts.find1. You can observe that there is another field inserted called _id, which has to be there for every document of any collection. Now the value for this can be user defined also, but if you don't mention, an object of a class called object id will be created, and we will talk about this object id in the future lessons.